You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to find someone. You don't have to figure it out. It will figure out itself. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Isha Rajput, and for those who are new, I talk about law of assumption and manifestation. If you are interested in these, stick around and I would love to have you here. Today we are going to talk about how powerful is law of assumption. When I understood the power of law of assumption, I realized that everything that was happening around me, I was manifesting it due to my assumption. It could be as petty as having a fight or an argument, and to something as large as like manifesting your dream career, your dream job, or something that you want so desperately in your life. As you all know, that law of assumption was given by Neville Goddard, and he states that human imagination is the most powerful thing which can literally change everything around us. Whatever you want, you just imagine it like you are daydreaming and you're faithful to your imagination. You don't question it. You just have faith that it is coming true. And it will come to you. You don't have to move yourself. You don't have to lift your finger. You don't have to do something or figure out something or work on your self-concept or do anything. You just have to assume that it's already done for you by imagining it like you're daydreaming. After you are done daydreaming, whatever you want in your life, you carry on with your life like it's already done for you. You have that feeling in you. You have a thought vibrating in you that something is done for you, and you walk and talk with that attitude that it's already done for you, and eventually it comes to your 3D. It becomes your reality. You just don't have to question it. And this is the power of human imagination. That is what we are going to talk about, like the power of human imagination. I'll be sharing a radio lecture by Neville Goddard himself because I have seen much more responses from you guys as you are loving the lectures, the radio lectures of Neville Goddard. So I'll be sharing a radio lecture of him literally explaining how powerful is human imagination so that you can all understand how simple and easy it is. All you have to do is have faith in your imagination. So brace yourself and put on some earphones and listen to this radio lecture. I am 110% sure you'll not be disappointed. In fact, you will have much more faith and belief in you that yes, law of assumption is true and it is helping us. It is working out for me. The universe is working in my favor and everything is turning out the way I want it to be. So listen to it and then we'll talk.
Everything was once only imagined. Now tonight, find out exactly what you, not what they think you ought to want, what you want. Ask no one's permission. You don't need any man's permission. You don't need your own decision. What do I want? Now, what would it be like if it were true? What would I feel like were it true? Now, catch the mood and try to give that mood all the sensory vividness of reality, all the tones of reality, and then sleep in it, just as though it were true. And then await the inevitable. The inevitable is you're going to resurrect it and objectify it on the screen of space. And then the world will call it real. And they may not believe you. It doesn't really matter. If you tell them it came to pass because you simply imagined it. Now, they'll point to the series of events that led up to it. And they will give credit to the bridge of incident across which you walk towards the fulfillment of that state. And they'll point out some physical thing that was the cause. No, the cause is invisible, or the cause is God, and God is invisible to mortal eye. Who knows what you're imagining? No one knows. But you can sit down and imagine, and no one can stop you from doing it. But can you give reality to the imagined state? If you do, yes, a bridge of incident will appear in your world, and you'll walk across some series of events leading up to the fulfillment of the imaginal state. But don't give causation to any physical step that you took towards the fulfillment of it. You imagined yourself having a marvelous business, and then comes the day a building is for sale, and you haven't a nickel towards it. And not a total stranger, but a man comes in and asks you quite in a friendly manner, are you going to buy it? And knowing you don't have a penny, you say to him, as you would a friend to a friend, with what? And then he said, well, I have money. It's only in the bank drawing nothing. You say, but I have no collateral. Well, he said, I've watched you. You're an honest person. Your family, they're honest. I think they are. Would you like me to buy it for you? I'll get my lawyer to bid for it. If they knew that I'm bidding, that I have money, they'll bid me up. And so I get it at the very lowest price by getting a lawyer who represents more than one client, and they do not know who he represents, and he'll bid for it. Are you willing to take it regardless of the price? And you say, yes, I'll take it. But I have no collateral. All I need is your signature, that you will simply pay 6% on whatever the price is, and then reduce that principal over a period of 10 years. Agreed? Yes. But then sign this, and we'll see if we can buy it. That day, you owned the building. And you didn't have one nickel when you owned the building that day. You only had your signature on a piece of paper. At the end of 10 years, you repaid the man his principal. You reduce it every year, paying him 6% on the remaining principal, and reduce the entire thing at the end of 10 years. That man dies 20 years later and leaves you $150,000 in cash, tax-free, and a couple of homes and many personal belongings. In the meanwhile, you continue in that business, and it multiplies and multiplies. And that year was 1924. This is now 1968. That building, I'm speaking factually, that building in 1924 is now gone. He paid only $50,000 for it. It was repaid and repaid. A bank 3 years ago bought the property, because the building was rotted, bought the property for $840,000 in cash and no capital gain, from $50,000 to $840,000. In the meanwhile, the business has expanded into all the other islands, so that today you couldn't buy them out for $15 million. All in imagination. And this goes back to the imagination that preceded this man's offer to buy the building. For the young man seeing this building and entertaining a thought that the present owners deceived his father, and through deception got him out of a partnership, a junior partnership. And he was moved not to get even, but to prove that he really had something within him and could be a success in spite of their deception. And so every day he would see on that marquee not their name, but his own family's name. And he would see it in his mind's eye, because you could not take their name and transliterate it and make it spell this man's family's name. But he saw it. And in his mind's eye, he saw that name, which, if true, would imply the family owned it. He did it every day, twice a day, for 2 years. And then came this sudden, out of the nowhere. And the whole thing was made possible, and today they're all over the islands. And they have no partners. They've never taken in one partner, never sold one bit of stock outside of a family ownership. All by imagination. Now, I know what I'm talking about because I am a member of that family. I'm speaking of my own family. This is not hearsay. I know it. My second brother, Victor, was the one in whose imagination this whole thing began to bloom. And he still works all by imagination. He knows what he wants, and then after having decided in himself, that's what I want, and that's good for the business, he then in his mind's eye, he appropriates it. And then let things happen. As told us in Scripture, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure, and it will not be late. Read that in the book of Habakkuk. Here is the true translation of that passage in Habakkuk. So when you know what you want, remain faithful to that assumption. And the assumption, though at the moment, is denied by your senses and denied by reason. If you persist in it, it will harden into fact. Are we not told that God calls a thing that is not seen as though it were seen, and then the unseen becomes seen. He calls everything from the unseen into the seen in this simple manner. For he is the resurrecting power. So if I assume that I am, I don't have to have evidence to support it. I assume that I am. I am what? Well, I name it. And having given it a name, given it form, given it definition, remaining in it, I resurrect it. So I know what I'm talking about. All I need from you is the acceptance of it. Will you believe it? Will you believe that with God all things are possible? Will you believe that all things are possible to men? Well, you can prove it in the not distant future. But you are the operant power. It will not work itself. If you dare to assume this very night that you have a better job than you now hold, or that you have a larger income, you may be fired tomorrow. Don't be concerned. On reflection, you'll see it was necessary to move you towards the fulfillment of your assumption. You could be fired. And I wouldn't bat an eye if you told me tomorrow, well, I did what you told me. You know what happened? I was fired. I have seen that. It takes someone to fire you to get you into a better job. I have seen that time and again. I wouldn't go out and quit the job. You may be promoted in the job, or you may be invited by some other concern that is competitive to join them. I do not know how it happens. I only know if you remain faithful to the assumption, it's going to happen. And you're going to be promoted towards the fulfillment of the state that you have dared to assume that is yours. I could tell you unnumbered stories along this nature. So here I say, dwell in the end. The end is where we begin. For if I've seen my name on the marquee, that's the end. I don't wait for the incident to take place in my world to move from one to the other, leading up to that. I dwell in the end. If I go to the very end, what would it be like were it true?
The problem that we face literally while assuming or manifesting is we are so absorbed by our senses that we are not able to accept the fact that our manifestation is true. Because our 3D is not reflecting it. We don't have it in our reality. So it becomes very difficult sometimes, and it becomes very difficult to stay in high frequency as well. Because there are various emotions which we go throughout our day, and it becomes nearly impossible for us. But it's okay. It's okay to feel those emotions. Once you are done feeling those emotions, you have to tell yourself, even though I am feeling like this, I still have that thing done, and it's done for me. I don't have to question it. I don't have to link my sad emotion to my manifestation, because these two are separate things. Nothing is related, okay? So once you are done feeling your emotions, you need to tell yourself the thing is still done for me, and do the things which you like to do. Don't force yourself too much or too hard. The whole purpose of manifesting something that you want was to be happy, okay? So if you're forcing yourself to manifest or to do your visualization or imagination, whatever method you are doing, you are just becoming the opposite of what you want. You wanted to become happy, but now you're forcing yourself to manifest. So that won't work. And for that to happen, for that to work, you need to keep your visualization or your manifesting, assuming time to be as relaxed as possible. You need to relax yourself. Don't be tensed, because I myself experience these emotions when I try to manifest. I have literally felt each and every emotion, because when I started manifesting, I felt these emotions. I was nothing. I was just a kid or doing nothing, and I didn't knew what was my purpose. And I literally felt like it is not going to work, because nothing is going to work. But it does work, and it has changed my life. I literally mean it, because the amount of work I have done on myself in last 5 months, I was not able to do. I just assumed that my reality is perfect and it's the way I want it to be. And it turned out so well. Amazing. Have faith. Have faith that it's all working out for you. that everything that happens to you, even if you get rejected, it's all in your favor. Have faith that everything turns out way better than you expected. That's all. I hope that I have literally contributed this much or this much, depending upon your feeling right now, that how much you got motivated or how much you feel that law of assumption is going to work for you and you will get your manifestation. Whatever it is, just be calm and check here. Check here, are you happy? Check here, are you calm? If you're not, then get yourself into those feelings and ask yourself, how can I be happy right now at this moment if you're feeling sad? If you are not sad and you are like calm, it's okay. But if you are sad, check here whether you are happy or not. And try to put yourself in a happy mood, because that is what will help you to get your manifestations. And one thing more, I will be literally putting a workbook together through which you can manifest whatever you want. I'll be creating a workbook on money so that you can master money manifestations, and I'll be creating a workbook for manifesting your specific person, and I'll be creating a workbook for literally removing all the resistance and blockages in you. So if you are interested in this, please leave down a comment below, or you can just text by mentioning my name so that I get to know that you guys are interested in these books, workbooks. That's all for today. You know how much I love you guys and how much we are growing together. And I'm loving this YouTube community because manifestations are working so well for me, and I want to share it with you guys. And I want you to manifest, because this is what I want from my life. I want to help myself and others to make this earth a better living place for all of us. And I hope you like this video. If you do, please do give it a thumbs up. And so that's all, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.